So this morning in Santiago, we woke up at about 3:30 in the morning to get on a bus, went to the airport, got on a very early flight, flew from Santiago to Punta Arenas, and now we are in the port in Punta Arenas. We are all checked in, negative COVID tested, twice, everything all good to go, paperwork sorted. Finally, after lots of waiting, we're on the Roald Amundsen, the Hurtigruten ship that's going to take us to Antarctica. So, here we go. Our first landing was to Cape Horn, an island in the very far south of Chile. While the plan most days was to get off the boat and do a landing, sometimes the weather conditions didn't allow for that, so our second activity after Cape Horn was a cruise around some glaciers in a Zodiac. One of the expedition drivers pulled this long worm-like thing out of the water, but we never knew for sure what it was. The best guess was that it was an intestine or organ of one of the animals swimming around. As you can see from the video, it was snowy and windy while we were out on the water, so it was a good thing the ship supplied us with these red waterproof jackets to keep us warm and dry. The next stop was very exciting because it was our first official landing inside of the Antarctic Circle. We spent an hour walking around Stonington Island, which is home to 2 research stations from the 40s, one United States base and one British.
We're here reporting to you live from Antarctica, and it's a little bit chilly, and soon we're gonna go swimming.
Stonington Island was also where we did our first polar plunge, which yes, means we jumped in the below freezing temperature water. My dad and Jack opted out of it, but my mom and I decided to take the plunge, just the 2 of us.
Jesus.
The next day we set out for another glacier cruise, and this time we got lucky and saw some wildlife. It might look like I'm using a filter here, but the ice was truly this bright blue and green in color. Every day on board the ship, the crew presents lectures all about the glaciers, animals, and landscape. We learned from the lectures that the ice absorbs the other colors in the spectrum, leaving the blue shining brightly. Halfway through our glacier cruise, one of the other Zodiacs pulled up next to us and one of the crew members handed everyone a cup of hot chocolate and Baileys. Here's the view one day from the balcony of my parents' cabin. This was the perfect spot to sit out and look for penguins or whales swimming below. Speaking of penguins, it had been about a week into the trip so far and I still hadn't seen any penguins up close yet. I was starting to worry that we wouldn't see any until the next day when we landed on Plunges Island to see a large colony of gentoo penguins. On our way back from the island in the Zodiac, we saw another group of penguins jumping in and out of the water. The following day, we woke up to a gorgeous sunny sky for the first time on the cruise so far. The sun really brought the landscape and colors to life, and it was nice to not be shivering in the rain on the boat ride over. We stopped at Danko Island and climbed to the top of a hill to be greeted by another little colony of gentoo penguins. And of course, since you're only in Antarctica once, we did another polar plunge. While it wasn't as cold as the first one, do not let the sunny weather deceive you because I promise it was still icy cold water. The best part of this plunge was that there were penguins on the beach hopping in and out of the water with us. Our next landing was to Deception Island, which is the caldera of an active volcano. can see the steam on the top of the water, and when you stick your hand in at the top, it's warm, but just go a few more inches down under the surface and you'll feel the same good old chilly Antarctic waters that we now know and love. There used to be research stations here, but they were very badly damaged from an eruption in the 60s. Here in this video you can see what remains. I opted out of it this time, but my mom decided to do the polar plunge one last time, and as you can see, she had some interest from the wildlife here on Deception Island. Every time we get back on the boat, we have to wash off our boots in this machine to make sure we don't accidentally take anything back with us. Before we entered the Antarctic Circle, we also had to vacuum out all of the clothing we were planning on wearing to make sure that no seeds or bugs were tagging along in our clothes. This way we aren't introducing any invasive species to Antarctica. To exit Deception Island, we had to pass through Neptune's Bellows, which is the exit point for the caldera. Our next landing was to a place called Half Moon Bay, where we saw fur seals lounging on the beach and another colony of penguins.
There's Mia walking along, and right over her shoulder we have some chinstrap penguins. Mia, are these the cutest penguins you've seen so far?
Yes, but also the ones on Plano Island, the gentoos were very cute also. So I would say it's a tie right now between the chinstraps and the gentoos.
Today is our last landing day, and I'm going to actually miss Antarctica. It's been amazing, absolutely amazing. Oh, fur seals, chinstraps, gentoos, birds, polar plunges. Oh.
Half Moon Bay was supposed to be our last landing of the trip, but a few hours after getting back on the ship, the captain came over the loudspeaker and told us that there would be a bonus stop in Yankee Harbor.
Okay, so we thought the last landing was the last landing, but now this is the last landing. So, last landing.
We think it is. We think it is.
We think it's the last landing. Last landing.
Last landing.
Last landing.
There was another.
After seeing some more Antarctic penguins for the last time, we got back on the ship. The next few days were spent sailing back over the Drake Passage and back to Punta Arenas. Out of everything we've done so far, this was one of the most unique experiences and I'll never forget it. This has been one of my favorite videos to edit so far, so thank you everyone so much for following along and I'll see you next time.